Somewhere in the world right now, a football match is being fixed. You are watching it. You have no idea. And one man spent more than 20 years showing just how easy it could be. His name is Wilson Raj Perumal. Born July 31st, 1965, in a small village in Singapore. No football career. No connections to any club. No coaching license. No agent credentials. Just a gambler with a phone, a fake passport, and an understanding of the one thing every football system has in common. Somebody on the inside is underpaid. Wilson Raj Perumal understood something football authorities took decades to fully appreciate. Football matches aren't decided only by talent. They're decided by the people who control them. That is where this story begins. And by the time it ends, it will have touched World Cup qualifiers, Champions League fixtures, national teams across 3 continents, and a Europol investigation that flagged 680 suspicious matches in a single report. Perumal started small. Singapore's domestic leagues in the late 1980s. Local matches, local bookmakers, local bribes. He would approach players who earned almost nothing and offer them more money for one deliberate mistake than they would make in a month of playing honestly. A missed tackle, a clumsy foul in the box, a goalkeeper who dives a fraction too late. Small things. Things nobody watching would ever question. By 1995, he had been caught and jailed in Singapore for the first time. 12 months for bribery. Most people would have stopped there. Perumal came out and went bigger. That same year, he flew to England. His target? The FA Cup. He walked into Birmingham City's training ground posing as a journalist from Singapore and approached goalkeeper Ian Bennett directly. He offered Bennett money to throw an FA Cup replay against Liverpool. Bennett refused and told his manager, Barry Fry. By the time anyone acted, Perumal had disappeared. He tried the same thing with Chelsea goalkeeper Dimitri Karine. Walked up to him, offered a bribe. Karine turned him down flat. Told Perumal he had a long contract with Chelsea and was not that sort of person. 2 attempts. 2 rejections. Most fixers would have called England a failure. Perumal just learned a lesson. Do not target players who are well paid. Target the ones who are not. And that is the insight that turned him from a local criminal into a global one. He stopped chasing Premier League goalkeepers and started looking at countries where footballers earned almost nothing, where referees could be bought for the price of a plane ticket, where national football associations had almost no oversight and even less money. He moved into Africa, into Southeast Asia, into Central America, and he built a system designed to manufacture certainty. But Perumal wasn't acting alone. Somewhere above him sat a powerful figure financing an operation that stretched across continents. Here's how it worked. Step 1. Identify a match that international betting markets would take wagers on. This could be a league match in a lower division, a friendly between national teams, or a qualifier for a tournament most fans would never watch. Step 2. Contact a referee, a goalkeeper, or a key defender. Offer them between 5,000 and 100,000 euros, depending on the stakes. Step 3. Tell them exactly what result to deliver. Not just a win or a loss. A specific scoreline. A red card in a specific half. A penalty at a specific moment. Step 4. Place enormous bets on that exact outcome through illegal Asian betting markets. Step 5. Collect. One fixed match could generate hundreds of thousands of euros. A good week could bring in millions. And nobody was watching. Because nobody was looking at friendlies between Zimbabwe and Thailand. Nobody was looking at World Cup qualifiers in leagues most Europeans could not name. That was the genius of it. He fixed the matches nobody cared about, and the betting markets paid out anyway. But Perumal wanted more. In 2009, he created a front company called Football For You. On paper, it looked like a legitimate sports promotion agency. In reality, it existed for one purpose: to arrange international friendly matches that he could fix before the first whistle even blew. Football For You approached the South African Football Association and offered to organize warm-up friendlies for the national team just months before South Africa hosted the biggest tournament in world football, the 2010 FIFA World Cup. South Africa said yes. Why wouldn't they? A professional agency offering to arrange high-profile preparation matches sounded like a gift. It was a trap. Perumal did not bribe the South African players. He did not need to. Instead, he made sure his own referees were appointed to officiate those matches. Referees he had already paid. In a friendly against Guatemala, South Africa won 5-0. Suspicious penalties were awarded. Suspicious fouls were called. The result looked normal on paper. But the betting lines had already been set, and the people who placed the bets already knew the outcome. FIFA later found compelling evidence that friendlies against Guatemala, Colombia, Thailand, and Bulgaria were all compromised. The host nation of the World Cup was playing rigged matches weeks before the tournament started, and nobody knew. Meanwhile, across the continent, Zimbabwe's football was drowning in a scandal that would become known as Asiagate. Between 2007 and 2009, the Zimbabwe national team went on a series of tours to Malaysia and Thailand. These matches were arranged by syndicates connected to Perumal. Players and officials were bribed to throw games. At one point, a Zimbabwean club side posed as the national team for a friendly match against Syria. Not the real national team. A club side pretending to be the national team. And nobody on the other side noticed. Dozens of Zimbabwean players, coaches, and officials received lifetime bans. The corruption was so deep it nearly collapsed the country's football federation entirely. And now the man behind the curtain finally came into view. His name was Dan Tan Seet Ung, a Singaporean syndicate boss investigators would later identify as the mastermind behind the network. Perumal was the fixer on the ground. Dan Tan supplied the money, the connections, and the machine behind it all. Together, their operation touched every continent except Antarctica. And it might have continued for years if Perumal had not made one mistake. In 2011, he traveled to Rovaniemi, a small town in Finnish Lapland, to fix matches involving the local club ROPS. He entered Finland on a forged passport under the name Rajamorgan Shalaya. He checked into the Scandic Hotel. He started approaching players. And then somebody talked. An associate of Perumal, another Singaporean, walked into a police station in Rovaniemi and told officers that a wanted match fixer was staying at the Scandic Hotel. He gave them a room number. The police raided the room. Wrong person. The informant had given the wrong room number. But the Finnish National Bureau of Investigation did not stop. They put Perumal under surveillance, tracked him, and arrested him on a domestic flight to Helsinki. He was convicted of forgery, illegal border crossing, and bribery, sentenced to 2 years. And then something happened that nobody expected. Perumal started talking. He gave investigators everything. Names, dates, bank accounts, the structure of the syndicate, how the money moved, which federations were compromised, which referees were on the payroll. He named Dan Tan. He named matches. He laid out the blueprint of global match fixing in a way no one had ever done before. On February 4, 2013, Europol held a press conference in The Hague. The head of Europol, Rob Wainwright, stood before reporters and announced the results of Operation VETO. Investigators had identified 680 suspicious football matches worldwide, including World Cup qualifiers and Champions League fixtures. More than 425 players, referees, club officials, and criminals from at least 15 countries were implicated. The syndicates were believed to have made over €8 million in betting profits. Wainwright called it a sad day for European football. He called it the biggest match-fixing investigation in European history. And then he said the part that should keep every football fan awake at night. He said it was the tip of the iceberg. The thing most people never think about is this. For every match that gets caught, how many do not? For every Wilson Raj Perumal who gets arrested in a Finnish hotel, how many are still sitting in a hotel room somewhere else, watching a match they already know the result of? Perumal later admitted to personally helping fix somewhere between 80 and 100 matches. His syndicate was linked to hundreds more. He operated for over 2 decades across 4 continents before a wrong room number in a small Arctic town brought it all down. Somewhere in the world right now, a football match is being played. You are watching it. The question Perumal left behind is simple. How sure are you that what you are watching is real?